Tell us about how you made the move. I think there's a lot of people that listen to our show who have done a couple of rentals, maybe even done 10 or 15 rentals, and they want to get into multifamily, but they haven't really figured out how to crack the code and haven't figured out where they might be able to play in that space. Or how did you make the move?
Yeah, this is such a great question and such a powerful, powerful experience that I had. I'll never forget. I had a friend that had reached out to me and said, hey, let's go to this. They're doing this 2-hour tell you about multifamily, so on and so forth. And I remember telling her, I have no business being there. That's only for the rich, but I'll go with you just to appease you. And I remember sitting in the front row with my arms crossed, like, what is this going to be about? Oh, great. They're going to sell us on something else, right? And I kid you not, there was like an aha moment that took place. And I like to relate it to Monopoly, right? Playing the game of Monopoly and being the girl that lands on Vermont, i.e. the single family house, collects $50. And all of a sudden, as the gentleman is speaking, I find out very clearly that it is 100% possible to be the chick that no longer lands on Vermont collecting $50, but to land on Boardwalk with 50 doors over one roof and to collect far more than $50, but multiply that times 50. And I went, oh my gosh, there's really a way? And so go figure, the rest is history. I was on fire from there and ran as quick as I could. And as a matter of fact, I felt like I owed it to all of my friends and family and doctors that came with me in the single family space. And so I had reached out and said, you're never going to believe it. There's something that's far better than the single family, but it's a much larger learning curve. So when I get there, I'm going to take you with me if you so desire. Hence, because I primed my people, the first deal I took down, I was able to raise $2 million because I stayed in contact while I was learning, right? So it's pretty powerful. But I would say for anyone out there that is really curious and deadly serious about finding out more about the multifamily, absolutely connect with Annie or Julie, because there's no better way than to get in as a limited partner and really see what it's all about. See if you have a liking to it. See if you're vibing with what it is that multifamily can do for you. Because once you do that, then you're going to find out if you want to jump in with both feet and whether you want to be an active person or if you would just prefer to have the power of the passive side, which it's absolutely incredible. And the space is so advantageous for many reasons.
Love that.
So if there's one thing I've learned from everything that you said, it's that when Erin's on fire, you watch out. Things are about to happen. It's so you go to you have this aha moment. You're like, oh my gosh, I don't need these greenhouses anymore. I can trade up for these red hotels in Monopoly, right? And you're like, okay, so then you leave that, you're like on fire, you're like telling everybody. But, I think we know a lot of people in the space who get to that point. They're like, I'm going to do it. And then a couple months later, they're like, it's too hard. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to go back to what I know or what I'm comfortable with. And so you left there and you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this leap. I know there's a steep learning curve, but I'm going to do it. And so then walk us through, how long did it take? What was that process like to take down that first deal where you were able to raise $2 million?
Well, again, just being transparent, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. My first year and a half, it was a year and a half, ladies. It was a year and a half, and here's why. If there's one thing that I could leave to your listeners, if they're active and in the space, please don't be me. I was the chick that was wearing the hat to find the brokers, wearing the hat to find the money, wearing the hat to find the properties, and it was exhausting. And I remember thinking, man, if this is really what it's all about, I don't think I'm cut out for this. I am certainly not qualified. So I will tell you, fast forward, as soon as I landed the deal, my first deal, it wasn't, again, rainbows and butterflies. And I was used to being in business for myself, by myself, and it was great. What I will say is make sure if you're going to invest with someone or whoever you're going to link up with, make sure that the values align. Make sure that your goals that you're going for is what Julie and Annie or whoever it is that you're working with are headed in the same direction. Because I will say The property is absolutely important. The property management is super important. But above all, friends, the most important thing is the general partners that are controlling the deal and helping to execute the business plan. And at the time, I did not realize the importance of just that. With that being said, I have got the most incredible partners. And, with Quattro Capital, there's 5 of us. And one would say, you're crazy. Why do you have so many partners? Well, my friend, remember, I was the chick trying to wear all the hats. And so when I found a team that had brilliance and their strength was my weakness and vice versa, could you imagine the strategy in coming together with a high-powered team? It was absolutely incredible. Why? Because I get to stay in my lane. I get to stay in the lane, just like in my practice. Remember how my coach put me in the right direction and said, stay in your lane. This is where you're most going to make the biggest impact. Same concept. I get to work with Quattro Capital and I get to stay in my lane where I thrive, where I'm going to have the largest impact. And together we are flying like eagles because of the strength of our team that we have.